13 Doan, page 280. 14 The History of India, volume 2, part 17 Asian Technologies, volume 1, part 259. 13 Matthew's Gospel, chapter 2. 14 The Introduction to the Gospel of Childhood by Hagen. 15 The History of India, volume 2, part 3 1616. Krishna was brought up among the Shep herds. When he was brought to Mathura, he was in great need of education. He was brought an expert teacher. In little time, he excelled his teacher in sciences, and he defeated him in the scientific minute Sanskrit problems. 17. One day Krishna was walking with a herd of cattle which had chosen him as their king, and each cow went to the place set by the king. 15. The Gospel of the date of Jesus Christ's birth, Ch. 6:16. Jesus Christ was sent to the teacher Zacchaeus to teach him. Then he wrote the letters A, B, and he asked Jesus to say A. Then the God Jesus said, "Tell me first the meaning of the letter A, and then I can say the letter." He told him about the straight letters and the curved letters, the dual letters and the dotted ones, and the articulated letters and those without dots, and why they were placed in that order, i.e., some letters are placed before the others. Jesus Christ went on to say things the teacher had never heard of or read in books. 17. In March, Jesus Christ gathered the boys together and arranged them as if he were their king. If someone passed by them, they took him by force and ordered him to lie prostrate before him. 16. Dawn, Pyre 280. The History of India, volume 2, Pyre 32-1-117. The History of India, volume 2, Pyre 312, 16. The Gospel of Childhood, chapter 20, issue 1 to 8.17. The Gospel of Childhood, chapter 18, issue 1-3. 18. One day, a snake stung some of Krishna's friends whom he played with, and they died. He pitied them for their early death. He considered them with divinity, and they quickly returned alive. Some of Krishna's friends were taken away with their calves, and the robbers hid them in a cave. Then Krishna created friends and calves that looked like them. 20. The first signs and miracles Krishna did were the healing of the earth. 18. One day Jesus Christ was playing when a snake stung one of the boys. Jesus touched that boy with his hand and he recovered immediately. 19. The boys who were playing hid themselves in a bakery. They were changed into the form of kids. Then Jesus called upon them to come and play. They were transformed into their first form as boys. 20. The first sign and miracle Jesus Christ did was the healing of the leper. 18. The Gospel of Childhood, H. 1819. The Gospel of Childhood, Cha 1820. The Gospel of Childhood, Cha 8, issue 2. 18. The History of India, volume 2, page 343-19. The History of India, volume 2, page 1420. The History of India, volume 2, page 319-21. A poor crippled woman had a jar contain 21. When Jesus Christ was in an old house, ing perfumes, oil and sandalwood, saffron and other perfumes. She rubbed Krishna's head with the perfumes and made a marked sign, and she poured the rest of his head. 22. Krishna was crucified and he died on the cross. When Krishna died, a lot of misfortunes and signs of great evil occurred. The moon was surrounded with a black halo, and the sun darkened at midday. The sky rained fire and ashes. Rays of burning fire flared up, o'clock. The tombs were opened, and many demons started corrupting the land. People saw thousands of souls in the atmosphere of heaven, wandering in the morning and at night. 24. Krishna's side was pierced with a spear. The house of Simon the leper, a woman approached him with a small, expensive bottle of perfume, and she poured the contents on his head while he was leaning against the wall. 22. Jesus was crucified and he died on the cross. 23. After Jesus died, a lot of calamities took place. The veil of the temple was split from top to bottom. The sun darkened between 6 o'clock and 9 saints rose from their tombs. Jesus' side was pierced with a spear. 21. The History of India, volume 223. The book, Promotion of Religious Perceptions, Volume 1, Para 1724, Dewan, Par 283-21, Matthew's Gospel, Part 26, Issue 706-23, Matthew's Gospel, Part 22, Luke's Gospel. Dewan, Apter 282-25. Krishna said to the fisherman who threw him with the arrow while being crucified, "Hunter, go to heaven, the dwelling of the gods. Go, attended with my mercy." 26. Krishna died, and then he rose among the dead. 27. Krishna came down to hell. Krishna's body ascended to heaven, and many people saw him ascending. 29. Krishna will come at the last day, and his appearance will be like a heavily armed knight riding on a gray horse. On his arrival, the sun and the moon will be darkened, and the earth will rock and shake, and the stars will fall down from heaven. 25. Jesus said to one of the two robbers who were also crucified with him, "I tell you, you'll be with me today in paradise." 26. Jesus died, and then he rose among the dead. 27. Jesus came down to hell. Jesus' body ascended to heaven, and many people saw him ascending. Jesus will come at the last day riding on a gray horse like a knight, heavily armed. On his arrival, the sun and the moon will be darkened, and the earth will shake and rock, and the stars will fall down from heaven. 25. Venbrana, page 28226, Dewan, page 282-27. Dewan, page 282.28. Dewan, page 282.29. Dewan, page 282-25. Luke's Gospel, chapter 23. Issue 403.26. Matthew's Gospel, chapter 28. 27. Dewan, page 282. And the book, Christian Faith. 8. Matthew's Gospel, chapter 24. 29. Matthew's Gospel, chapter 24.